Thank you very much for joining me today. Obviously, we're very keen to hear a lot about your insights as a leader and your experiences. So the first question being, what's one piece of advice you were given that has had the most impact on your career?
Thanks, Danny. Thanks for having me. And I hope
Pleasure.
my collective experience can help your followers. Yeah. So I think that's a really pertinent question that I guess most of us will experience at some point in our career. Somebody giving a very interesting or an important piece of advice. To me, it came from a relative of mine. It wasn't from a colleague or a mentor or a manager. She is a professor at a top university in India, and she was just making a comment. It wasn't even advice to speak about. It was just a comment she said as part of her observation. The kids at her university or the students at her university, what set them apart was their um, infatuation to get the basics right. Yeah. So their main focus, they were, yeah. So getting the basics right. And once the basics were rock solid, they could aim for whatever they wanted. Yeah. And it didn't make that much sense to me at that point, but it slowly started creeping up in the back of my mind every time I would look at an opportunity that is outside of my current experience. That if you actually are open minded enough and if you're willing to put in the effort to learn the basics of whichever area that you're stepping into, there's no limit to how much you can expand yourself. I mean, this has somehow been in the background helping me expand my portfolio, so to speak, or my skill set or my domain expertise over multiple areas. And even within, let's say, the automotive domain, it has helped me keep an open mind when new opportunities present itself. Uh, I don't have to be worried about lack of expertise, lack of experience in a certain area, as long as I have in my mind that as long as I put in enough effort to get the basics right, I can do whatever I want. This in itself probably is not that dramatic of a piece of information, but if one really thinks about it, it can have a profound effect on one's career, I believe.
Yep.
And so far, it has been very helpful. This tip, even within the automotive domain, I've had plenty of opportunities to try out different things. I had my chances to consult for different projects to help identify weaknesses or step into a completely new domain, for example, DevOps, which is not something that I had initial experience with, but I had to like not just step in, but lead an entire group of tens of engineers with a clear goal to deliver something. So I could step up because I knew that if I spent enough time in getting my basics right, and enough time to understand the goals, yeah, I can deliver it. I can provide the leadership, I can provide the guidance, and I can get things done. Yeah, I guess this I think is something that everybody could just keep in the back of their heads. Yeah, and that will expand their scope dramatically, expand their areas that they could build expertise in dramatically. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then not be restricted to a single area in their careers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, that in my opinion was the most significant piece of advice I had received.
Yeah, no, definitely. I would definitely second that. I think it's it gives you really good foundations, doesn't it, to build upon, as you said earlier. And I think it's something that's so often overlooked. So one of my previous clients, they were a leading motorsport team, and you would expect their interviews to be, really highly technical and sort of at the bleeding edge of sort of technology and testing everybody on that. But surprisingly, they actually always tested people on their fundamentals first. So They were keen to really understand whether somebody had a true grasp of engineering principles, stuff that they would maybe consider at degree or sort of college level. They wanted to make sure that they had those perfectly mastered before they then went into anything else further to that. And yeah, I think it just shows how important that is right across the board. And I think it's applicable to all careers really as well, isn't it? I don't think it matters what profession you're in. I think that piece of advice can be carried across most definitely.
Indeed, indeed. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much. All right, brilliant. So then we're interested in getting some insights into your mindset as well as a successful leader. So how do you deal with challenges and setbacks in your career personally?
Yeah. Um, yeah, I guess this is another excellent question. Something that um, people usually think they are ready for, but they are not when it actually happens. And the way I look at it is not just not just the challenges or the setbacks in career, but everything in life. I separate it in, let's say, two sections: things that I can directly influence, and then things I can't. Yeah. And I try to deliberately focus on things that I can focus on, and then avoid focusing on things that is not at all influenceable by me in any way. So what I do is fall back to the first point, the first question that you asked. Focus on building your basics. What it does, focusing on the basics, getting your foundations and fundamentals stronger, helps you build a tremendous amount of confidence in yourself, in your capabilities, in your ability, and in your ability to be of value to any organization that you're part of. You could be an employee, you could be the owner of the organization, but I guess the substrata of all of it is the foundation of confidence. And uh, if the confidence is there, setbacks are 100 times easier to handle. Yeah. There is no shortcut to avoid a setback. Yeah, it is. If somebody has gone through life without a setback in their career, it's mostly luck, I would say. Yeah, you will hit a roadblock here and there. And the only thing that will keep you afloat is confidence in yourself, confidence in your capabilities. There shouldn't be any doubts about one's own capabilities, and that can be guaranteed if you are unshakable in your foundation or your fundamentals or your basics.
Yeah.
So, I yeah, I would just recommend that people uh, don't pray for or don't expect a uh, let's say a clean, smooth ride in their career. Yeah, a pothole here and a roadblock there is to be expected, and I think one should welcome it. Yeah, it is an excellent chance to build character, excellent chance to test yourself. Yeah, and prepare yourself for the next potential pothole that might be maybe a couple of years down the line. Yeah. And having a long, smooth ride and then hitting a pothole is worse than having, let's say, regular uh, checks in your path or potholes in the path. That really builds character and gives you confidence to face challenges in life. So I wouldn't. My first advice or my first recommendation would be to not shy away and take the safe route all the time, not to shy away from a potential pitfall or pothole or a roadblock, but face it head on. Yeah, and then see how good we are, how good I am in dealing with it, and then find out weaknesses and fix them
Yeah.
immediately. And keeping the first question in mind, keeping your fundamentals strong, as I said, is going to be crucial in dealing with those roadblocks. Because trying to move on from a setback would totally and completely depend on your own confidence level. Yeah.
Yeah.
So as long as the confidence and the faith in yourself is unshaken, yeah, just I would say bring on the challenges. Yeah. and then you are most definitely going to get through it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this would be my advice.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's important, isn't it? The more comfortable you are in the discomfort of taking risks because you're confident in your ability to sort of at least handle setbacks, I think it means you can push yourself further in most cases. You can take those bigger risks that maybe could pay off massively, but equally could obviously, as you say, build character and sort of maybe even build your skills up by dealing with any setbacks that may come as a result as well. Brilliant.
Agree. Yeah.
And finally, then, what was the most valuable lesson that you've learned about leadership, and how has that shaped your approach to leading others as well?
Again, another excellent question. Um, this I need to rewind back to about uh, 2005, 2006, when I was like starting my career off fresh, and that was the first time I had a manager who would actually care about his team, and not just about the task getting done. Yeah. This was a guy who already had 15, 16 years of experience, but he would be sitting next to a developer who's burning the midnight oil. Yeah. And he would be getting pizza, and then he would be helping him solve problems with the code. Yeah.
Mm,
And then he would just, once he sees that his subordinate has built up steam and he's like progressing, he would just slowly back off and then get away from the scene and let him handle it on his own. And he was always there. Yeah, you hit a roadblock, you feel that you're not able to proceed, you could always just pick up the phone and then give him a call, and he was there. What it taught me, though he didn't explicitly say it in words, that uh, mentoring is infinitely more important than just plain leadership. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. You can be a leader. Yeah, you can give your team, you can lead your team, you can give them a general guidance. Yeah. But ensuring that your team has team members have a mentor, I think is a big game changer. It sometimes get ignored. Some organizations pay an extraordinary amount of attention to this to make sure that mentorship is guaranteed, but some don't, and I think that is a big problem. Yeah,
yeah,
making sure your team, especially the new ones who come in, having that they have a mentor is going to completely change their lives. Yeah, it's going to change. It's going to improve their work life. It's going to improve their personal life. It's going to improve the way they interact with their family when they go home. They are not going to be carrying stress back home. This is all from personal experience of having a mentor and being a mentor. I've been a mentor to many people, and I could markedly see a difference just in the way they smile. Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, before they got a mentor, and then after they got a mentor, night and day. Yeah, night
yeah,
and day difference, because they just know that somebody's got their back. Yeah, and they run into an unsolvable problem, they have an ally who can, troubleshoot it, fight fires together with them, and it's a tremendous boost of confidence. Yeah, and
yeah,
they go home a lot more relaxed. They spend a very nice evening with their family, with their partners, and then they come back actually refreshed. They actually want to come back to work. They are looking forward to the next day. They're looking forward to another productive day of learning and solving things, instead of, oh my god, it's another day where I have to, like, I don't know where I'll find a solution. I have a deadline and I have a problem that I have no idea how to overcome, and all my seniors are either grumpy or busy or both, and I don't know whom to approach, and maybe I'll piss somebody off, and then they would tell my boss that I'm bothering them. All these needless, thoughtless, baseless thoughts crowd
yeah,
their minds. Yeah, and just having a mentor saying that, hey, this guy is going to help you. Yeah, you have a question, go to him. Yeah, if you're stuck somewhere, go to him, and this person will handhold you, walk you through the challenges, and then by the end, by the time the mentorship is done, you will be a completely different person. And that just changes that just blows their minds, and then it just changes their lives. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if we want a productive team, if we are trying to build a productive team, it's never the case that you will always have high performing. Every single individual is high performing. Every single individual has the top skills in their areas. Yeah, no, there is always a mix. Yeah, and a leader will take everyone together. The leader, an ideal leader, should ensure that everybody has a sense of achievement, not just, oh, I rode on the wagon. I didn't do much, but okay. Anyway, somehow we got there. But
Yeah.
an ideal high performing team is a team which feels that everybody did something. And the only way to get there is to empower and boost everybody's confidence by solving things together, achieving things together. And I think mentorship and mentoring is a keystone for that. Yeah,
Yeah.
for achieving that. And to me, um, I personally would say, if you're a leader or you're becoming a leader, make sure that you give mentoring a serious thought, and that there is always one or more mentors for your team members, and you be somebody's mentor, and then let them be somebody's mentor, and let this chain go on. Yeah, and that's the only way we make our teams better and also the society better.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think that's an amazing insight because, again, as somebody that has personally been mentored by people in the past, I think it gives you that confidence, as we spoke about before, that you can maybe make mistakes and there's going to be somebody there to support you, and you no question is a silly question. And I think that's the best way to learn, isn't it? It's almost to learn by being shown what maybe should be done in a situation where you made a mistake, but also just being able to ask questions and bounce ideas off somebody. And I think it's an amazing way to learn. And I think, as you say, it sets off that chain reaction, doesn't it? Because as somebody that has personally benefited, I know you said the same as well, of having a mentor, naturally that turns you into somebody that mentors. And I think that's yeah, definitely a positive way to start that chain reaction
Yeah,
off, isn't it? And have
yeah,
have that
well said.
line
Yeah,
of mentorship. Yeah, definitely. Brilliant.
well
Well,
said.
thank you very much. I think, as I say, that was
No
some
problem.
amazing insights from you there, Madhu. I really appreciate that. I'm sure the audience will love it as well.
Most welcome. I hope my experiences and insights were helpful, and I would be, yeah, we'll be happy to stay in touch.
Good. Perfect.